everybody, Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I am delighted to show you a piece that I created that I would like to call the Granny Ricrack Scarf. Basically what this piece amounts to is, yes, it does start in the typical granny triangle fashion, but the neat thing about this pattern is that after you do your initial triangle, you then create additional triangles to make a sort of ziggy-zaggy kind of pattern with your triangles. But the beauty of this is that it's all connected. It's not one of those join as you go where you create a triangle, then as you're creating the second triangle, you have to cut your yarn and you have to sew in ends. No, actually, it is one continuous piece, which I absolutely love. Now, for this piece, I used, this is Lion Brand Ferris wheel. By the way, Lion Brand is kind enough to sponsor this video. Thank you very much, Lion Brand. And so this yarn that I used, by the way, I used 2 skeins of this yarn for this scarf, and this is Vintage Carousel. And I really do like this yarn. I've used it for a number of different projects. I love the colorways. Now, little quick specifications. It's 270 yards. It is a weight of 4. Recommended hook size is a size H, although I believed I used a size I, which is, I happen to have it handy, a size 5.5 millimeter hook. Now, the gauge is really not important. It's a matter of personal preference for this particular piece. And also, it is 100% acrylic, machine washable, and dryable. Now, what I would recommend is, if you're not going to use this yarn specifically, I would recommend using a color change yarn because it really shows off the pattern. Another one by Lion Brand that I would totally recommend is their ice cream yarn because it is a nice variegated yarn. So I'm going to show you how to do this piece, and the length of it that I came up with that worked best for me is a total of 8 of these triangles, and it took about 2 skeins of yarn. Now, of course, you can make it longer, you can make the triangles bigger. There are a lot of customizing options that you can go for. It's totally up to you. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okie dokie. So, I have my size I crochet hook and, of course, my yarn. And we're going to start with a slip knot as per usual. And I know I say that in practically every video, but that's how we start crochet more often than not. So I'm going to start with a slip knot and then do a chaining up of 4. And a slip stitch into the first chain to create a ring. And we're going to be working within this ring. So from here, chain 4, because we need a double crochet and a chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then into the center ring, 3 double crochets. Right into that ring. Then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, or 2, whichever your preference is. I like 3. And then into the same space, that same center ring, 3 more double crochets. And then because we need symmetry, chain 1 and a double crochet into that same ring. And there you are. That is the first row of our triangle. All right, we shall continue. All right, so for the second row and every other subsequent row, it's going to be essentially the same. I'm going to start by chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, because this is going to count as our double crochet and chain 1. Then into this chain space right here, 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and then into the chain space, this is going to be the center spine, 3 doubles, there we go, chain 3, and 3 doubles. Chain 1, and then into the chain space right here, 3 doubles, chain 1, and another double. All right, so then the next row is going to be exactly the same. Chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn the work, into the chain space, 3 doubles, and pull out some more yarn as needs be. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next chain space, and like I said, you know, the chain 3, you could make that a chain 2. You could omit the chain in between your clusters if you are inclined. It's really, it's a matter of personal preference. So after your 3 doubles, chain 1, and then into the center spine, 3 doubles, chain 3, and 3 doubles. And this is one of those patterns that, you can essentially get lost in, which I'm in favor of. I like those. Chain 1, 3 more doubles, and on our next triangle, which we will get to, the joining process really is painless, trust me. So after I did my 3 doubles and my chain 1 into the chain space at the end right here, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. All right, so that is the end of the third row. And quick way of knowing how many rows you have, just count 1, 2, and 3. All right, so you can make your triangles as big or as small as you want to. Now, keep in mind that the scarf is going to be held as such, and then we're going to have another triangle coming out to here. So the ultimate width from here to here is going to be doubled, but it is going to be in a ziggy-zaggy formation. So the only thing that you really need to follow is that the number of rows for your triangle needs to be an even number of rows. I right now have 3. Well, you could have 4, 6, 8. I went with 10 rows total for my particular triangles. I felt that for the width of a scarf, it worked beautifully. So I'm going to do another row just because. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn the work. And into the space, 3 doubles. Besides, I like spending time with you. All right, and then chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space. chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space, chain 1, 3 doubles into the center spine, pull out some more yarn. Now, I'm not going to do all 10 rows of the triangle on camera, but I felt that by doing at least 4, that'll give you a good idea of where we want to go. So I got my 3 doubles, my chain 3. I need 3 more doubles into the center spine. There we go. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space. There we go. Chain 1. And we reached the last space. So after chaining 1, you do 3 doubles into this last space. Chain 1 and another double. And there you go. And already you can see how beautifully the colorway works with this yarn. I love it. So I would recommend it, definitely. And also there will be a link in the description box where you can find this yarn on Lion Brand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the next bunch of rows off camera. In fact, I'm going to do 6 more rows off camera because I only got 4, but I want to do 10 so that I can show you what I did when making my scarf so that it can be your scarf. The Ricrack Granny. All right, so I'm going to meet back up with you when I've got 10 rows done. I keep wanting to say rounds. No, they're rows. When I've got 10 rows completed, I will meet back up with you and we'll continue on from there. All righty. All right, so I followed suit with how I had been working my rows, and I have a total of 10 rows at the moment. Now, like I said, it really doesn't matter how many rows you have specifically, as long as it's an even number, because you have to get back to where you started from. It'll make more sense as we go on. So, we leave off at one of the corners. Well, that's going to be our starting point for the next triangle, believe it or not. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinsert my hook, and I'm going to reposition my piece so that the spine, it faces downward. Okay. And we are going to continue on our merry way. All right, so from here, the typical starting would be, right, chaining 4. Well, we're going to do the same thing to start our new triangle. So from here, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into this space, this is going to act as our initial ring that we started with right in here. So after chaining 4, into this space, 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. Alrighty. All right, so now at this point, it's all about the joining. All right, now this is going to be a little bit weird, perhaps a little bit unorthodox, and also perhaps a little bit reminiscent of the kaleidoscope granny that I did a while back. In fact, that's where I got the idea for this. So right now, we're going to chain 1, because we really could still use that space. And then into, not the space that we were just working in, right here, but the next space, going to do a slip stitch. All right. Then from here, we need to start the next row, but we need to work up a little bit, just like we used to do in the kaleidoscope granny. Now we need to work up, so chain up 3, 1, 2, whoop, whoop, and 3, and then into the next space, slip stitch right into here. Like so. Now that chaining of 3 is going to count, believe it or not, as a double crochet, just like in so many other pieces. So from here, we need to turn the work. And from here, now I'm just going to grab the yarn because we're going to need to do another double crochet. From here, we're going to go into this space right here. Okay. And we're going to do 2 more double crochets into the space, only 2, because this chain counts as our first double crochet of the cluster. So going right into this space with 2 more doubles, then chain 1, and we're going to finish up our row just as we normally do, into the center spine, 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles. Okay, then chain 1, and into this chain space, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. Three doubles, chain 1, 1 double. So the only real difference is the joining aspect. The rest of it, it's like if you just sort of put your fingers there, well, it looks exactly like your typical granny triangle. It's just the joining, the whole join as you go kind of thing going on here. That's the only thing that you really have to concern yourself with at this point. So we're going to keep on keeping on, and I'm going to show you how to keep going until you reach the starting point. And I'm going to go through it with you, and that way you can make as many triangles as you want. All right, let's keep going. All right, so in the last little clip, we did the first 2 rows. Well, we're going to do the next 2 rows. So I'm going to start by chaining up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn the work. And then, just as we have been doing, into the chain 1 space, 3 double crochets. And then, of course, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 3, because we reached the center spine, and then 3 more double crochets. The formula of the triangle itself does not change. Right now, it's really, like I said, just all about the joining as you go when we get down to the pre-existing triangle. So after doing your 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles, well, you chain 1 and 3 doubles into the next space. Okay, so now it's like, where do we go, right? Well, going to chain 1 because that is par for the course. And then, all right, now this is going to look a little bit odd and feel a little bit odd at first, but you will get used to it. So from here, well, we need another cluster, but it's going to be in between here. So we did, it was there, chain 3, and then we did 2 more doubles to make up that cluster, right? Well, we need to go in between that cluster and that space, right into there. So into the space with 3 doubles. There we go. And then chain 1. Okay, now you may be inclined to do your slip stitch into this space. Do not, because as you can see from the blue yarn that I have here, we slip stitched into this space already. You want to go into the next space. So we're going to go into this space. And believe you me, this took a lot of trial and error to figure out. Believe me. All right, so instead of going into this space, we're going to go into the next space right over here. All right. With a slip stitch. And then chain 3. And then slip stitch into the next space. Not the one we just went into, but the next one. There we go. And then turn your work. Yarning over for our next double. Now again, keep in mind that this chaining of 3 created our first double. Now we're going to go into this space right here that we created from that last cluster. So after yarning over, going into this space with 2 doubles, because we already did the first double when we chained up 3. And there you go. That's the first cluster of this row. So from here, chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space, chain 1, 3 doubles, and continue on in the same fashion, for the rest of the row. It's really that easy. So chain 1, and we reached the center spine, so it's 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles. Oops. And then chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space. Chain 1. There you go. 3 doubles into the next space. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space, which is the last space. Chain 1 and 1 more double into that last space. So as you can see, we have our new triangle forming, and it is connecting to our pre-existing triangle as we go. It's a fabulous thing. All right, we shall continue. All right, so we got the first 4 rows done. We're going to continue on by chaining up 4. Turn the work. And then into that first chain space, 3 doubles. Chain 1, 3 doubles. Chain 1, 3 doubles. I'm going a bit fast perhaps, but that's because, we've pretty much been over this. It's just getting to the joining part. That's the part that may seem intimidating, but I'm really trying to emphasize that it's really not that bad once you get used to it. It's just, chain one, three doubles, chain one, three doubles. And then when you reach the center spine, which is where I'm at now, it's three doubles, chain three, three doubles. Okay, and then working our way down towards the pre-existing triangle down here, we shall get there. So chain one, three doubles, chain one, three doubles, chain one, three doubles, and wouldn't you know, we are back to where we need to be. All right, so what it amounts to once again is going to chain one, and then this was ultimately the first cluster of our new triangle. So we need to go in between that cluster and where it joined, right into this space, right into there, with three doubles. Okay, chain one, and again, don't go into this space because you can see from the reddish purplish yarn right here, it connected into the space already. So going into the next space with a slip stitch. All right, then we need to create our first double of the next cluster. So chain three, slip stitch into the next space, turn the work, and then, like I said, this chain three counts as our first double. We need to go into this space with two more doubles to create our first cluster. And there we go, that's the first cluster. So then chain one, three doubles into the next space, and you would keep going in the same fashion. I'm not going to film the rest of this on camera because this is the exact same thing. So again, three doubles, chain one, three doubles, chain one, three doubles, chain one, etc., all the way until you reach the beginning. And when you reach this spot, it would be three doubles, chain one, one double. Then to start the next sequence, you would of course chain up four, do three doubles into that space, and then work your way back this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'm going to meet back up with you when we're ready to do the joining again, because I know that that would, that's enough to intimidate anybody. I understand. It's a little bit different, a little bit weird, but that's the part that I'm going to walk you through. All right? So I shall be back. All righty. All right, so I finished going back and forth, and this is the tip of my piece, and we are heading back towards the dreadful joining. It's really not that dreadful. It's just I do fully understand that this is, like I said, fairly unorthodox, but it works. Yes, it does. All right, so from here, I'm almost to the joining point. So from here, I'm going to chain one and then three doubles into the next chain one space. It's just that one little aspect that I'm sure, it just might be a stumbling block. And I totally get that. I do, because it's different. But that's why I'm trying to go over this particular aspect more than the rest because, well, we've done the rest. All right. So going to chain 1, and then again, we're going to go in between this cluster here into that little space, right into there with our 3 doubles. And then chain 1. Okay, and again, we're not going to go into this space. I know it's a matter of repetition, but it helps. We're not going to go into this space because this cluster was joined into this space, right? So we're going to go into the next space with a slip stitch, and then chain 3, slip stitch into the next space, and then turn the work. All right, and then into this space right here, do 2 more doubles because our chaining of 3 counted as the first double. So we have ourselves, technically speaking, 3 doubles. Then chain 1, and then 3 doubles into the next space. And chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space. And follow suit and keep going all the way up, all the way down. And then you know what to do. When you reach this space, going to do 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. Excuse me. And then you would do a chaining of 4, do 3 doubles into that space, and work your way back up, back down, and I will meet back up with you when we are heading towards the very end, because this row right here that we're doing, let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this right here, this is our 8th row. We only need 2 more, and then this new triangle will be done. So I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to go up and down and up and down and meet back up with you so that we can work on finishing this triangle. Alrighty. Alrighty, so I've been stitching along, and I am almost to the point where we need to do our joining again. So just gotta do a chain 1, and then into the next space, 3 doubles. Whoop. Yes, 3 doubles. Come on, there we go. And 2, and 3, another chain 1. All right, so here we are. Again, we have to go in between that little space right there because we've got our 3 doubles, that chain 3 and those 2 doubles. Got to go in between, right into here with 3 doubles. There we are. And again, don't go into this space, go into the next space. But first I need to do another chain 1. So yes, don't go in here because that's what joins this one. Go into the next space with a slip stitch. All right. And this right here is where we started. That was our initial chain 4 ring. So chain 3 and into that ring, slip stitch, then turn the work, and then down over here, do 2 more double crochets for a total of 3 double crochets. And there you go. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next chain 1 space, and so on and so forth. Chain 1, 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles, and so forth. So then, as you can see, this is the beginning of our first triangle, and it is perfectly connected to our new triangle, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. And so we have a total of 2 triangles. Now, of course, we'd continue on going up and then down. And then when you reach this point, this is where you would start a new triangle, which I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to show you about when you reach that point again, what to do. So we shall continue on. Alrighty. All right, if you'll excuse my handheld camera work. All right, this is the triangle that we just finished making, and this is the first triangle that we made. And so as you can see by my tail. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on. I'm going to show you, that it's really a simple matter of just starting the new triangle just as we had done previously. No big deal. So going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into this space right here, 3 doubles, chain 3, and 3 more doubles. Yeah, man. Chain 1, and then, just as we had done before, we need to slip stitch, chain 3, into the next space, slip stitch, and then turn the work. It's a little bit tricky because the piece has gotten a lot bigger. There we go. And then double crochet into this space right here, but only 2 double crochets because this chaining of 3 counts as our first double. So that's 1 and 2 for a total of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 1, and then continue on in our merry little fashion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially, through the power of video and modern technology, I'm going to skip ahead, and I'm going to show you what you need to do as far as the final joining when it comes to this triangle, because, well, we have a pre-existing triangle to contend with. So I thought it might be a good idea to show you that as well. Alrighty. Then chain 1, and then another double. It's a lot of repetition. And there you go. That's the beginning of our third triangle, the first 2 rows. All right, so I will be back when I am at this point, because this is the last triangle that we just made. This is the one that we're working on now. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do when we reach this point right here. All right, be right back. Alrighty, so that was our first triangle, and then that was our second triangle, and this is our third triangle. So that being said, I'm going to show you what to do when you reach the sort of the joining point of the joining points. So I'm almost done with my 9th row. The 10th row is the row back. So I'm almost to where we need to be, but I like having a little chit-chat time with you. I really hope that you are enjoying this project. I certainly enjoyed designing it. Like I said, it did take quite a bit of figuring and doing, but it was thinking outside of the box that enabled me to do it. And that is why I always encourage you to do so as well, to think outside of the box, to try to manipulate something pre-existing, and you might just be able to create something new and rather fun. All right, so we are at that point again. Yes, we are. All right, so I need to chain 1 and then 3 doubles into the space right here, because that was the last slash first of those clusters that we did. So go into here with 3 doubles. There we are. And then chain 1. Okay, so again, don't go into this space. You need to go into the next space with a slip stitch. And then this space right here, we're going to treat just as we did the first time, where, it was the chain 4 ring. Well, this is essentially our chain 4 ring right here. So chain up 3, and then slip stitch into the next space right here. Okay, this was the beginning of our previous triangle. So slip stitch into here, and then turn the work. Can be a little bit cumbersome after a while, but we get there. All right, now that chain 3 counted as our first double crochet, so into this space over here, 2 more double crochets for a total of 3. And then you know what to do. Chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space, and chain 1, 3 doubles into the next space, and so on and so forth until you reach the spine, and you know what that is. That's 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles, and then when you get to the beginning, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. And then, well, you start yet another triangle. Now, of course, as I've said before, you can do as many triangles as you want. You can do as big or as small of triangles as you want, but the fact that it is completely seamless, no sewing, no, the join as you go method, it's really about, taking separate motifs and joining them together as you crochet them. Well, this is quintessentially a join as you go, but there's no seaming and there's no sort of bulky line where you connected, and you don't have to worry about sewing in, the ends quite so much either, which I love. Absolutely, positively. So with that being said, I really hope that you like this tutorial. Play around with it, see what you too can come up with. And if you like this video, please give it a little thumbs up button down below because, as always, I appreciate your appreciation, and I appreciate Lion Brand for sponsoring this video. Thank you very, very much once again, Lion Brand, and I love your yarn. I do. This yarn in particular, I think, works out beautifully for this particular project, and I'm glad I picked it. So, also, please hit subscribe because I do try to post often, whether it's crocheting, knitting, audiobook narration. My other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, would love to see you there too. And also, there will be a link in the description box where you can find this yarn if you want to do so as well. So, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.